Before you watch this episode of our City Current radio show, I want to invite you to join City Current's e-learning and online personal development platform called Growth Current. I'm Jeremy Park, host of the City Current radio show and CEO of City Current. Growth Current is your exclusive ticket to attend virtual events with global thought leaders, national guest speakers, and experts who can help you grow personally and professionally. It gives you access to success secrets, lessons learned, learning modules, and so much more. Being online, you can join us from anywhere in the world. Subscriptions are only $8 a month, or you can do bulk subscriptions for your team. Check out growthcurrent.com to learn more and to join us in our efforts to power the good. And now, on to the show. Welcome back to the City Current Radio Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're honored to be with our next two guests who you will know very, very well. We're joined by country music artist Tracy Lawrence and also the Tennessee State Fire Marshal and Tennessee Department of Commerce and Insurance Commissioner, Hodgen Mainda. So Tracy Lawrence and Hodgen Mainda, how are you two guys doing?
Excellent. Great to be here.
Doing well. Great to be here as well.
So the State Fire Marshal's Office, which Hodgen, this is all you and your team, launched a fire safety campaign with Tracy Lawrence. And so this is a safety campaign where there's all sorts of PSAs out, and Tracy has lended his time and talents and voice and expertise to be able to share all of these tips. So Hodgen, let's start on your end. Give us a little bit of the backstory kind of leading up to this campaign.
Yeah. Thank you, Jeremy, for having me here. As mentioned, I am the State Fire Marshal. The Fire Prevention Division is housed in Commerce and Insurance. We are proud to announce our Fire Safety Awareness Campaign with our recent launch of public service announcements. And by the way, this is Fire Safety Week, so being on your show is very timely. We are thrilled to have this partnership with country music artist Tracy Lawrence, who I had the privilege and honor to meet a few weeks back. And the goal here is to spread our message about fire safety and ultimately continue saving lives across our volunteer state.
And obviously, as the weather gets cooler and we're headed into turkey season with Thanksgiving, people are lighting up fires and cooking a lot. And so there is a huge need for raising awareness for fire safety. So talk about the cooler weather and what that means for the state of Tennessee for exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. The cooler weather brings a whole lot more things to do with fire. So you'll see increased camping. We've got the holiday season that's coming. One of our goals and our mission in the State Fire Marshal's Office is how do we partner with fire departments across the state, some of which majority are volunteer fire departments, give them the resources that they need. But with what we're talking about today is coming alongside them to educate Tennesseans, 6.8 million Tennesseans across the state, about how they can enjoy and continue their lives in a safe way, and to prevent fires, which will ultimately, hopefully, decrease the number of fire fatalities that we see across our state.
So Tracy Lawrence, you have 8 #1 hits, 14 albums. You are getting back on the road, safely but surely. And so you've got a lot of exciting things. But why did you decide on your end to lend your time, your talents to this effort?
I had an opportunity to become involved with the National Rescue Mission 15 years ago, and we wanted to deep fry turkeys for the homeless. Is something that I've been passionate about, trying to bring awareness to the National Rescue Mission for many years. And with that comes a lot of danger. I know that a lot of people start frying turkeys outside for the holidays, along with all these other things. And I know that people try to do this on their back porch or close to their house. And I've seen the dangers that can happen and how quickly it can get out of control. A lot of people don't realize that you're not supposed to put a frozen turkey in a hot pot of grease. It will explode on you. There's some things that you need to understand. And I think the partnership is really good because my name has become associated with that. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to drive some of those points home and to talk about the fire safety in our own homes with smoke alarms and all the other other things that are very important this time of year. My wife and I just upgraded our security system and all of our fire smoke detectors and all the stuff in our home this last few weeks. So we are trying to be proactive with everything that goes into that, getting ready for the holidays, Christmas trees and all those things that can be fire hazards. So hopefully we'll be able to share a lot of those messages with you.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is it covers cooking, it covers, to your point, the heating safety, carbon monoxide safety, importance of the smoke alarms. I mean, there's so much kind of scope to this. Talk about maybe one or two, because each video is about anywhere from 60 seconds to a few minutes. So they're short little bits, but all obviously helpful tips, and you kind of walk through. Give us maybe one or two of the first ones that come to your mind in terms of just the tips that you've done and kind of putting out there.
A lot of it is just about making sure that your batteries are changed, that your smoke alarms, you go through the progression of checking them on a regular basis. It's making sure that you stay in the kitchen when you got an open flame and you're cooking stuff, just being aware of just natural common sense things that I think sometimes life is so fast paced, we get in such a rush that we neglect the little minor details, and things can get out of hand really, really fast. I know we had a fire in our home several years ago, and it caught us off guard too. So, and I've had the fire department have to come to my house and put a fire out in a fireplace. So you got to make sure that you have the chimney sweeps come out and clean your flumes, and make sure that you go through your checklist of things to do in your home every year. All those things are very important, not only for the safety of your home, but the safety of your family.
Have there been any lessons that you've learned by doing these where you're like, wow, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot of firemen and those folks over the years, so I'm pretty aware of all the little nuances that go into it. I'm pretty fortunate.
Share, and I'll kind of throw this to both of you, but in many cases, Tennessee is a volunteer state, and there are so many first responders and just brave men and women that are serving as volunteers who put their life on the line. But when you look at the firefighters, first responders, brave men and women who are risking their lives to go in and save others. And so talk about the importance, because it's not only about protecting our citizens, it's also too about helping them be more successful with their jobs. And so talk about it from that vantage point of both protecting the citizens, but also too making it a little bit easier for our team, our men and women who are serving.
Yeah, so Tracy, if you don't mind, I'll go first here. So when I met Tracy, met him at the Mount Juliet Fire Department, and it was amazing to spend some time. Of course, we did the PSAs there, but also got a chance to spend time with those firefighters. These men and women really put their lives on the line, trying to save lives and trying to respond to different things across our state. And so again, our job is we're coming alongside them and providing them the resources and everything that we can from an educational standpoint, letting people know what they can do, what's in their control to prevent fires. This is providing additional support to those firefighters. They were really appreciative of the time that we spent at the Mount Juliet Fire Department. As an FYI, Jeremy, there are 22,000 firefighters in our state. Majority of those firefighters, 64% of those firefighters are volunteer firefighters. So these are folks who have a full-time job and at the same time volunteer to be a firefighter. So majority of these fire departments are volunteer, and anything that we can do from a state fire marshal's office with, coming alongside us with Tracy Lawrence just goes such a long way. It's motivating, it's empowering, it's showing them that we care. And again, providing them the additional resources that we can from our end.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Hodgen, because I think people don't realize the extent, like you're saying, the large percentage who are volunteers. And I think that's a really important aspect is these are people who work a full-time job and who are doing it for all the right reasons as a volunteer to be able to give back. The other thing I think that's really important is when you talk about, sadly, what you see in other states like California with the fires there, little things can make a huge difference in terms of your house, our natural land. Like little things can create a big ripple effect. And so an accident, by being able to be proactive and not have those, you are saving your family, saving others, but you're also saving our environment. So there's a lot of ripple effect to just being proactive and sharing these tips.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
And
from that vantage point.
yeah, and also, by the way, as of September 25th, there were 73 reported accidental fire fatalities in our state. This is very timely because the same time last year, we had 69. So we've seen an increase. So the timing of this could not be any better.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, just like you said, 73 is 73 too many, especially when we have the ability to be proactive. Talk about for both of you, how can we help? I think a very simple way is obviously to go, and you have a YouTube channel, and so we can go and watch these. You're putting them out obviously along the airwaves for stations to be able to broadcast and share. I think a big part of this is getting the word out and becoming ambassadors, but how can we help? How can we help share this message?
You mentioned the YouTube. Being on this show is one of the ways really appreciative to your audience, but also, again, the videos are available. They'll be there for a very long time. We're going to help push them out so that consumers can watch them. Please follow us on social media whenever we tweet and help support the effort there. Again, the videos are very engaging. And again, Tracy, thank you so much for doing them, because I think people relate to just, hey, this could happen. No one is immune to a fire, right? And so any help that you can give with pushing them out on our social media platforms would be really helpful. Tracy?
Yes, sir. I agree. I think a lot of it is just helping make folks aware, and I think that's what this campaign is all about. So the more visibility that the networks and radio stations give us around the country, the more that we can drive this point home for people. It's really easy to get caught up in the holiday season and take things for granted, and put too many plugs on a breaker, all those little things. And I think that all we need to do is just take a moment and be aware of what's going on and pay attention to the little things. And I think we can have a safer Tennessee.
And I think the beautiful thing too is these videos, they're so well done, and the content is so broadly applicable that while it's good for all of Tennesseans, really anybody anywhere around our nation can benefit from this. So I think that there's a broad scope to the ability to leverage the content to really help and save a lot of lives, obviously here in the state of Tennessee, but really around our nation. Wrap up with both of you on just, from your vantage point, what's something that you want everyone to know outside of what we talked about? I think just kind of looking, we've talked about the cooking, we've talked about the turkey frying. Don't put the frozen turkey in the hot oil, but also too, some of the other ones on the importance of not smoking while using medical oxygen, carbon monoxide safety. And so I'm thinking for those who have the fires in the home and the gaslit fireplaces, carbon monoxide, and making sure that you're taking care of that. What's maybe just one other tip that you want to make sure you leave everyone with that can be beneficial?
Well, I think some of the PSAs that we may talk about this, but the fire departments, if you will reach out to your local fire department, they will actually come put smoke detectors and things in your home for you. That resource is there for you. So if you don't have the money or don't have the know-how to do that, call your local fire department. They'll come put those things in your home in the state of Tennessee, and I think that's very important for everyone to know.
Yeah, Hodgen, actually elaborate on that, because that is called Get Alarm Tennessee. And to your point, yeah, I mean, that's a great opportunity to reach out and connect with the local fire department, but to have them be able to offer their assistance.
Yeah, so great point that Tracy brings up. So a few years back, we started this program, Get Alarm Tennessee. Over 500 fire departments from across our state have participated in it. We have saved over 300 lives through this program. And to date, we have distributed over 230,000 alarms across our state. And so to Tracy's point, this is contact your fire department. Let them know that you need a smoke alarm. They are in direct contact with our office, and we're here again to support the fire departments and the firefighters who risk their own lives every day. To your point, Jeremy, if there was a message to Tennesseans, in addition to, contacting your fire department for a smoke alarm, we all have a role to play in our safety. So watch the videos, be responsible. We want Tennesseans to continue with their quality of life, to enjoy the holidays, the different traditions that we all have, but do it in a very responsible way. And one way to do that is to educate yourself as to what your role is as a responsible Tennessean.
So make sure everyone go to tn.gov/commerce/fire-prevention. So that's tn.gov/commerce/fire-prevention. That will take you to all the information. And let's go ahead and play one of the PSAs just to give you an example.
The Tennessee State Fire Marshal's Office and country music artist Tracy Lawrence urged Tennesseans to focus on fire safety. To help save Tennessee lives and property, keep up with us all year long for fire safety tips for every season and every occasion. It all starts with being fire aware. Prepare today, volunteer state.
Hey Tracy, did you know that cold weather means an increase in the risk of home fires in the state of Tennessee?
I did, and I want to remind our fellow Tennesseans that this winter you can stay warm and safe by remembering these fire safety tips.
Never use your oven to heat your home.
Have heating equipment and chimneys inspected every year.
Burn only dry seasoned wood in fireplaces and wood stoves. Never burn garbage or use flammable liquids to start a fire.
Make sure any fireplace has a sturdy screen to stop sparks or embers from flying out. Ashes should be cool before disposing of them in a metal container. Keep the container a safe distance away from your home. Keep up with the latest tips and news from the State Fire Marshal's Office on social media and at their website, tn.gov/fire. Stay safe, Tennessee.
Tracy, wrap up on your end. We can't have you on and not talk about your albums and everything else too. So you've got Made in America, and as we mentioned, you're out doing, it's a modified tour right now, but you're out on the road a little bit. So talk about your website. Where can we go? And obviously make sure we're up on the up and up for all of your music.
The best place to go is tracylawrence.com. Of course, I'm on all the social platforms as well, but tracylawrence.com will give you all the touring information. Spotty schedule, we've got a couple coming up. We'll be at the North Texas State Fair next weekend, and then a few scattered private shows. I think we've got a South Dakota and a North Dakota on the books for the first week of December, but there's not much going on this year. I'm in the process of working on an album for my 30th anniversary. Next year will be my 30th year since my first album came out. And we're planning on doing I'm in the studio working on a bunch of stuff right now, getting ready for that project. So new music coming next year.
Well, thank you for lending your talents to this campaign. Greatly appreciate it. Hodgen, thank you to you and your team for all you do to keep us safe and protect us, and for both of you for being a part of this. So thank you for coming on the show. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Good to see you, Commissioner.
Great to see you, Tracy, as
Take
always.
care, sir.